Yeah, the car is broken. Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. As you just saw, the car doesn't start. I don't know what happened. Basically, I finally received my V5 and I was planning to take it on the road to drive it a little bit to see how it feels and what else it might need fixing, but it just won't start. And I have no idea what happened. I didn't touch the car in like quite a while. It was just sitting in the garage. Last night I went through pretty much everything that I did. So as you remember from the previous video, I basically attached the oil dipstick to the intake plenum and fixed the window, which again, it's not working. For some reason, it's just like the motor itself is just, it makes like a few clicks and it stops, and I have no idea what happened. So as I said, last night I tried to kind of like trace back everything what I did, and I even removed the spark plugs, check them. I mean, a few of them, I'm just gonna put the footage here so you can see. One or two of them were a bit oily. Not a critical, I mean, it wouldn't affect the car. I mean, its starting capabilities, so I don't know what it was. Still don't know what it is, and I guess today we'll try to troubleshoot everything. The problem is it doesn't have the OBD, so I don't know if it's gonna work. It's made in China, so it's this adapter that should help me to connect it to an OBD reader. Hopefully it will give me some idea or indication where I should look at. I don't know. I have no idea. This is my first BMW, so a lot of it is very terra incognita to myself, so I have no idea what might be. I read a few forums. People say it can be anything. Some people say old fuel, which I top it up with like 5 liters of fresh fuel, still nothing. Yeah, so I guess today we'll try to solve this mystery. One thing that I noticed yesterday was a strange buzzing coming somewhere from the intake manifold. Have no idea what it is. The throttle on this car is mechanical. It sounds like an electric throttle body, but in this case it's not. So let me show you. It makes a sound when I turn the ignition on. So let's do this. Come on. Right, so ignition on. You can see everything is lit up. Oh yeah, first, okay, quick demonstration of the motor. Yeah, that's it. That's the window that I supposedly fixed. So this buzzing sound, I don't know if you can hear it, but it's coming from around here. Like if I put my finger on the throttle body, I can feel it like vibrating. So it sounds and it feels like it's some electrical issue. Yeah, by the way, this is how that little fan was connected. It was just like plugged in one of these fuses, grounded to this nut. Yeah, not ideal. I even disconnected the dipstick because I thought maybe I shorted something when I connected the not throttle body, the intake plenum to the dipstick, but it's not the case. I disconnected it and put the rubber glove between the dipstick and the bracket on the manifold, so it's not that. But I don't know what it is. Should we try our Chinese OBD connector adapter? Let's see how it works, if it works at all. I even got myself this cheap-ish OBD reader. I had an old one, well, another one somewhere, but I couldn't find it. The OBD connector should go in here. As I said, I'm not sure if it's gonna work because it's 1.8 swapped to 2.8, and the wiring in this car is still, I'm tracing all the splicings, and yeah, it's not ideal. So okay, actually I don't think it's gonna fit. Wait a sec, there's this little notch. Maybe if I align it with... Huh, okay, it's in. And guys, so let's take our scanner. Old OBD reader, which is has never let me down, and it seems to be working, but I cannot connect to the ECU, which is a little bit alarming. It's trying to detect the protocol, but so far, I don't know. It's still, I don't know if you can see, but yeah, it's trying. The noise, I think, might be coming from the idle control valve, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna try and disconnect it and see if it goes away. The good news and the bad news. The ignition is on, but you don't hear this buzzing. I mean, you can only hear the motor, like the heater blower motor, whatever that thing is called, but there is no other sound, and that buzzing noise was coming from the ICV valve. Oh, ICV, I mean idle control valve. It was buzzing. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be doing that or just stuck. I'll try to remove it and give it a clean. Yeah, maybe it's an easy fix. I think it's coolant. Yeah, coolant is sipping from this hose. Well, I mean, this car needs a lot of attention. I found the water temp sensor, which is, I mean, all three sensors are right here, which is nice. Yeah, so I don't know why the motor is working though. No idea. Anyways, we found a problem. Is it the problem? I don't know. Another thing that I've completely forgotten is before I started working on the car, I put it on the skates because the welded diff is, I don't know if it's the welded diff or the caliper is just seized, but it's really hard to move it around. So I put it on these skates just to have a little bit more maneuverability, and the car is sitting like that, like you can see. It's tilted to the front. I don't know if it's affecting anything. I highly doubt, but when the car was sitting straight, it was starting. Maybe just a coincidence, but I'm gonna drop it on the floor and put everything back together. I'll clean the spark plugs again. We'll try to start it.
2,000 years later.
I fixed the, I cleaned the ICV. It still makes the sound, that buzzing noise. Here goes nothing, I suppose. still doesn't want to do anything. There's no sound, no single explosion in any of the cylinders, which is weird. As I said, the ICV valve still makes a noise. I don't know if it's busted. It's very loud. Actually, one last thing before I call it a day. I'm just gonna disconnect the ICV valve and try to start it up. The next step would be to, I guess, remove the crank position sensor, crank angle sensor, and replace it with a new one. If it doesn't work, then the ECU, which would be very disappointing, and I'm not keen on buying another ECU. Maybe I can find a relatively inexpensive one on Marketplace, but I really want to drive this car at least once. Anyways, we'll see you in a second. So I decided to, well, basically I disconnected the ICV and it didn't do anything. So it wasn't the ICV. Even if it's busted, it's not that. But I decided to, because I was cranking it for quite a long time, so I thought I should pull out the spark plugs and give them a clean and just let them dry up, because probably they're flooded. And look at this. I don't know if you can see, but they're all absolutely dry. So my theory is we're not getting fuel. Why we're not getting fuel? That's another question. I checked the fuses. I will just probably replace the fuel pump fuse just to, I mean, it looks fine. If it doesn't help, I will try taking the fuel pump out, see what's going on, and maybe we can get it started. Fingers crossed. I don't know. It feels like I'm chasing some, I don't know. With an OBD reader, usually it's so easy, but without like anything, it just literally very, very old school, kind of like you're trying to say, oh yeah, spark. Yeah, I checked yesterday, that was spark. So it's firing, but we're not getting fuel. I guess last night I don't know what happened last night, but they were kind of wet-ish. We'll see. Yeah, as I said, I'm gonna quickly replace the fuel pump fuse and try it again. If it doesn't work, I'll dive into the tank and see what's going on with the fuel pump. I didn't film it, but I think I found the reason why the car didn't want to start. So, yeah, without further ado, it's just a sort of outro almost, because it's really, really cold in the garage. And as you can see, it's the other day I shaved my beard off. Yeah, I'm kind of super excited because the old school method worked pretty well. I still need to figure out the whole thing with the glass motor, window motor, why it's not working, but guys, I think I got it. So this is the culprit, and it was stuck. Basically, when I got my multimeter, I decided to check the, well, you know that when I got the spark plugs off, they were dry, so like, okay, let's check the fuel. And every time I would turn the ignition on, I couldn't hear it, so like, okay, let's just check the voltage to the fuel pump, and it was fine. So the second logical step was to check the fuel pump itself, and when I got power directly to the fuel pump, it was nothing. So I gave it a few taps and then start moving. So now I gave it another tap with a hammer, like a really good one, and it got unstuck. So now when I connect it to the battery, it works. Which is nice, but I already ordered a new one. I don't think it's worth putting back in, the old fuel pump. So I'm gonna wait for the new one to arrive, and once here, I'm just gonna install it, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it starts. If not, we'll continue looking into it, but I have my hopes really high. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one, guys.